The Journey of Arjun, From Fear to Fluency. Chapter 1, A Silent Dreamer. Arjun sat quietly at the back of his classroom, avoiding eye contact with his English teacher. Every time she asked a question, he prayed she wouldn't call his name. Speaking in English felt like an impossible challenge. Born and raised in a small town in India, Arjun had always been an intelligent student. He excelled in math and science, but English was his greatest weakness. His school taught English, but the focus was on memorizing grammar rules and writing essays, not speaking or understanding real conversations. At home, his family spoke Hindi, and none of his friends were fluent in English either. Every time he tried to speak, he stumbled over words, feeling embarrassed by his accent and pronunciation. Why do I even need English? He often asked himself. Deep inside, he knew the answer. English wasn't just a language, it was a gateway to opportunities. He'd seen how people who spoke fluent English got better jobs, more respect, and access to global knowledge. He dreamed of working in a big company, traveling to different countries, and being confident in any situation. But at that moment, standing in class, terrified of speaking, that dream seemed too far away. Chapter 2, A Small Spark. One evening, as Arjun was walking home from school, he saw his neighbor, Mr. Sharma, talking to a foreign tourist in fluent English. Arjun stopped in awe. Mr. Sharma had never studied in an English medium school, yet he spoke effortlessly. After the tourist left, Arjun gathered his courage and approached him. "Sir, how did you learn to speak English so well?" he asked shyly. Mr. Sharma smiled. "I taught myself. Learning a language is like learning to swim. You have to jump in and practice every day. Do you want to learn?" Arjun hesitated for a moment but then nodded. "Then start today," Mr. Sharma said. "Make a plan, be patient, and don't be afraid of making mistakes." That night, Arjun sat at his desk and made a plan. 1. Listen to English every day. He would watch English movies and listen to English songs. 2. Speak without fear. He would practice speaking alone and with others, no matter how bad he sounded. 3. Read as much as possible. He would read books, newspapers, and articles in English. 4. Write to express himself. He would start journaling in English daily. Chapter 3, The First Struggles. The next morning, Arjun woke up early and began his journey. He started with listening. He found a children's show in English and watched it with subtitles. At first, he barely understood anything. The words sounded too fast, and the accent was different. But instead of giving up, he kept watching. Every time he heard a new word, he paused the video, wrote it down, and looked up its meaning. He practiced repeating the words out loud, even if his pronunciation wasn't perfect. Speaking was even harder. His tongue felt heavy when he tried to form sentences. To overcome his fear, he stood in front of a mirror and spoke to himself. "Hello, my name is Arjun. I want to learn English. I will practice every day." At first, it felt awkward, but slowly, he gained confidence. Reading was another challenge. He borrowed a simple English storybook from the library, but every page had unfamiliar words. Instead of getting frustrated, he used a dictionary to learn their meanings. It took him an entire week to finish a small book, but when he did, he felt a sense of accomplishment. Writing was his biggest struggle. His sentences were full of mistakes, but instead of feeling ashamed, he started writing a diary. Every night, he wrote about his day in simple English. "Today, I watched an English movie. I learned new words. I am trying my best." Day by day, word by word, Arjun improved. Chapter 4, Of Facing the World. A few months later, Arjun got his first real test. His school announced an English speech competition. His heart pounded. Should I participate? He wondered. The old Arjun would have said no. But now, after months of practice, he decided to take the risk. He wrote a short speech about his journey of learning English. He practiced it in front of his mirror, then in front of his little sister, then in front of Mr. Sharma. The day of the competition arrived. Standing on stage, his legs trembled. He looked at the audience, his classmates, his teachers, all waiting for him to speak. "You can do this," he told himself. He took a deep breath and began. "Good morning, everyone. My name is Arjun, and today I want to talk about my journey of learning English." His voice was shaky at first, but as he continued, he gained confidence. He made a few mistakes, but he didn't stop. When he finished, the room was silent for a moment. Then, applause filled the air. Arjun didn't win first place, but that didn't matter. For the first time in his life, he had spoken English in front of an audience without fear. Chapter 5, A New Beginning. From that day on, Arjun's confidence soared. He joined an online English-speaking group, made friends who were also learning, and even started helping his classmates with English. A year later, he applied for an internship at a big company in Mumbai. During the interview, He spoke English confidently. "You've worked hard," the interviewer said, impressed. "Welcome to the team." Arjun couldn't believe it. His journey had started with fear, but now, he was stepping into a future full of possibilities. The moral of the story: Arjun's journey teaches us that learning English, or any new skill, is not about talent. It's about persistence, practice, and the courage to make mistakes. So, if you're struggling with English, remember Arjun's story. Keep listening, keep speaking, keep reading, and keep writing. One day, just like Arjun, you'll stand in front of the world and speak with confidence. Your journey starts today.